leave this camera on because for some reason the other camera I have that's built into my computer, I call it lobster cam. It makes me look like I've been in a smoker for a while. You'll notice how red everything gets. Even that picture of Charlie Parker turns kind of orangish brown.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I have the other camera, because I can't stand looking at myself looking like I've got a post-alcoholic can going.
Well, that's not too far from the truth, though. So, Bruce, we're really excited to have you at camp. I know you're gonna liven things up there.
Why did you have somebody somebody really boring the last time?
Well, me.
Oh,
I can't do it by myself. It's boring, man. I'm boring. So, Bruce, you used to teach at the USC. I read something about that.
yeah, I still teach there, actually.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I'm still on staff. It's my 16th year,
Wow.
maybe 17th. Wow, yeah.
Are you with? Is Frank still there?
Frank
Potenza?
actually, I believe Frank is just retiring now.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's with this retirement stuff?
I don't know, I don't know. I've been wondering how to get out of this business for a long time.
Yeah, it sucked you in. It won't let you out.
Well, the way I figure after everybody hires me once, then I won't have any work, anyway.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, this will be the first and the only time you'll be with.
Right. We can make it my comeback appearance or my final appearance or my farewell appearance. You can bill it a number of ways,
Right. So, do you, Bruce also has Barney Kessel's old guitar, right?
That's true. It's sitting right here with me. I leave this camera on because for some reason the other camera I have that's built into my computer, I call it lobster cam. It makes me look like I've been in a smoker for a while. You'll notice how red everything gets. Even that picture of Charlie Parker turns kind of orangish brown.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I have the other camera, because I can't stand looking at myself looking like I've got a post-alcoholic can going.
Well, that's not too far from the truth, though.
I'd much rather have a current alcoholic can than a post-alcoholic can. This is Barney Kessel's, ES350 from 1946 with the 1939 Charlie Christian pickup in it and all the stuff. If you go on YouTube, there's a little clip that says Barney Kessel talks about his guitar.
Oh, really?
And you can find out everything you want to know. This is the third fingerboard it's ever had. I was with him on the road when the airlines broke the headstock off.
Wow.
We were over in Australia, and this happened. And then, of course, the handmade bridge and the little old hi-fi knobs he loved.
Yeah, I like those knobs.
The only thing that's changed since he had it, you see this little light dot on the face?
Uh-huh.
That's because I'm so used to having a pick guard, and when I'm playing, I'm just looking for somewhere to put my finger, and obviously my finger has sort of rubbed a little bit of the finish off.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I'm entitled,
Yeah, so Barney never had a pick guard on there, huh?
No, and if you can see, you put this
Oh,
plate
yeah.
over, can you see all the cracks?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Obviously, He used to carry this crappy little guitar stand around with him. You know, it looked like those old wire music stands.
Right.
And obviously, more than once, somebody's foot got caught in the cable and pulled it off the stand and cracked it all up. Because the cracks go all the way up pretty much to there and all the way around to there. And he had to rebuild this plate.
Yeah. Wow.
It's quite a war horse, but what a great guitar, man.
Yeah.
You know, and I've been playing it because of the project I did with John Clayton and Jeff Hamilton. A little bit of promotion.
Please do that. Where can they get that? That is a great album, man. Where can they get that?
You can get it from me directly.
That'd be best.
BruceForman.com. Of course, you can get it at CD Baby, or you know, if you're cheap, you can stream it. You know what I mean? Or if you don't have a CD player, which I don't think many people have anymore. It was a record recording tribute to the poll winners.
Right.
Back at those famous records Barney, Kessel, Ray Brown, and Shelly Manne did in the 50s when they were all winning all the jazz polls. Back then, there were numerous jazz polls, by the way. There was Downbeat, Crescendo, Metronome, Esquire, the magazine Esquire had a jazz poll, and Playboy had a jazz poll.
Playboy, yeah. Well, that's why we bought Playboy.
They won all of them in the late 50s. You know, it was during the LA jazz, the West Coast jazz scene when that was really hot. And even though it was called cool, it was really, anyways. Yeah. And so every year to commemorate that, when they won, they would make a record called The Poll Winners. But to me, they were much more important because they're really the first documented version of the guitar trio: jazz, guitar, bass, and drums. You know, and
okay.
Can you hear me fine, or am I okay? Should I keep talking?
Yeah, no, you're doing great. We have some comments people have been asking. When you're done, I'm going to read off some comments.
Okay, cool. Well, so basically, the poll winners were like the establishment of the jazz guitar trio as both an musical entity and a rhythm section, because, you know, soon after that, in 1962, Jim Hall was the rhythm section, replacing piano with Sonny Rollins, which really has changed our world. You know, I mean, if you think of the world we live in today and the work we do and bands that we used to play in, you can trace it all back to the poll winners. So it was always a very important historical thing. Of course, Barney was such a great guy to be the one who, you know, because he was so harmonically advanced as well as being super swinging and melodic.
Yeah.
So, and Ray and Shelly were just at the top of their games. So they were just really cool things where they just show up and they, you know, pick tunes and arrange them on the spot and play them. And so my goal was to take this guitar, Shelly's drums, and Ray's bass, and have them all played by people that were mentored by them. You know, obviously John Clayton was the closest to Ray of anybody.
Right.
Jeff Hamilton was the closest jazz drummer to Shelly Manne. Shelly got him to replace him in the LA4. And John has Ray's bass, and a friend of mine, Gary, you know Gary Hobbs, don't you? The drummer up in Seattle. Oh, he was in the Kenton Band for Life. I thought you guys were buddies. Great drummer up north in the Portland area. Oh. And he had Shelly's drums. So we got Shelly's drums and Ray's bass and Barney's guitar and Barney's amp back together for that record that I just showed you. And it's and we did it we didn't copy any of their arrangements or anything. We just did it the way they did it. We just all brought in tunes and arranged them on the spot and played them. And luckily there's a guy named, they were contemporary records who were run by a guy named Lester Koenig, and his son worked with him for a lot of years, and Lester's passed away. But John had pictures of those dates and stuff, and he really helped me recreate, like, we set up the way they set up. We used the kind of mics they used.
Oh, really?
And unfortunately, the studio no longer exists, so we didn't do it in the same studio.
Are you going to press it on vinyl?
We have it on vinyl. Yes, it's available on vinyl, too.
Oh, that is awesome. I want to get one of those from you. I'm going to buy a vinyl.
Hopefully there'll be some left when I get up to the camp. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like to say these hotcakes are selling like records.
That's cool. Um, so I didn't realize that you were that close with Barney. Actually, went on tour with him.
Yes, yes, I did. I started when I was real young. He came to San Francisco, and I played with him in one of those. Back in the day, Joe and Herb, all of them, Kenny Burrell would all come through town, and they'd do a guitar workshop in the day. It was
Hmm.
just a great because we guitar players are so nerdy. We love to go to those things,
Right.
and so I would always go to those as well as the concert. And whenever they asked if anybody wanted to play, I was like a kid that just jumped on the stage, pretty much catapulted from my chair. I
Uh-huh.
probably knocked people over on the way. And I want to apologize to anybody right now that might have happened. Any like tire treads I left on the back of their head, kind of thing. Um, and I played with everybody, and Barney really just took a liking to me. He loved. I mean, obviously we have a lot of similarities. I'm a
Hmm.
real high energy kind of jazz player. I like to swing. I like to use chords a lot in my playing.
Hmm.
So those are all things that Barney likes a lot. So he kind of took me under his wing, and whenever possible, he would hire me and take me on the road. For a while, George Wein, the great promoter who did all the European festivals, was doing a thing where he wanted an established guy and a young guy, to tour
Oh yeah.
together, and you just play with like a rhythm section that happened to be in another band kind of thing, one of those. And Barney picked me to do that a couple of times.
Oh, how cool is that, man?
Yeah.
That's
Oh man,
quite a.
some of those rhythm sections we played with were amazing too.
Oh yeah.
And Barney was extremely competitive. So
Really.
it was not a loving little thing on the bandstand. I mean, he was there to cut you to shreds. And I'm not necessarily that, but I can go there. So he liked that about me. It was.
Yeah.
And we both ended up pretty bloody. Of course, me much more so than him, especially in the early days.
That's funny. Wow.
Yeah.
I never thought of him as being that competitive, but that's
Oh
interesting.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I
Oh
know his
yeah.
playing. It is a little ruthless at times, man. It's like, holy
Yeah. Yeah.
jeez.
I mean, and
God damn.
I think that's really a beautiful thing. I don't see anything wrong with that. I mean,
Yeah.
he loved the music, and he didn't do it out of personal spite. It was
Yeah.
all about trying to make the music as good as it could be. You know what I
Sure.
mean? He was competing more with himself than he was competing with me. I was just someone there that it made it a little more important for him to really kick some ass.
Yeah. Hey, somebody wrote here and they said that Barney had taped over the logo, Gibson logo, at one
Oh yeah,
time.
that that was you can still see it if you look in the right light. He did a crappy job. He just kind of spray painted or lacquered over it
And,
lightly.
and why did he do that?
He was mad at Gibson.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think he really liked the Barney Kessel model too much, and I don't think he felt that or I mean, I've heard various things. Barney never really told me, so this is all secondhand information.
Uh huh.
Um, he, some people have said like he was really mad the way they marketed the Barney Kessel guitar. Others were said that he was really mad because he just didn't like the guitar, and I think it's a butt ugly guitar personally.
Yeah.
But that's just my opinion. I don't. He never said that, and he just never felt like he was getting much love. Of course, I mean, he was the guy in jazz. I mean,
Yeah.
synonymous with jazz guitar from '56 through '61, and then in 1962, this guy came along named Wes Montgomery
Yeah.
and pretty much stole all the thunder at that point. And uh, Gibson, of course, had Wes with the L5 thing, and he might have been just pissed off that Wes was getting so much love and he wasn't. I mean,
Yeah. Who
this is all
knows?
conjecture. He never shared any of this with me, so this is all just
Yeah.
my conjecture and knowing the person and guessing. But he did and he did. I've seen pictures pretty late. He didn't do this till much later. This didn't happen in the '60s.
Oh yeah.
This was painted like in the 80s or 90s. In the
No. Okay.
80s. Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody would know that that's a Gibson. Thank goodness he painted over that.
Yeah, right. No one could possibly know, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's funny. So somebody wrote here, Bruce Forman killed it on the album Spiffy. Best solo on Tenderly ever.
Wow. Wow. I sure love that song, and thank you.
Yeah.
When you said Foreman killed, it scared me a little bit because I thought I was going to be,
Yeah.
I was thought the cops were going to come, and here I was going to go,
Yeah.
arrested.
We just saw you on America's Most Wanted last night.
Right, right. Yeah, I like to say, yeah, I've been, I'm wanted for rape and murder, fucking up and killing time,
Yeah.
So
That's funny.
But I love that record, and of course we need to mention that's Mike Coker's record, the great piano player and organ player down in Arizona, who went over the dark side and decided to run a jazz program instead of stay out in the world playing music. Because boy, that guy really is. I wish he would play more, do more gigging. You know him, right? You spent some time down there, right?
No. Todd Johnson's down there, but I've never been there.
Oh, okay.
Well, I went there for a guitar show once.
Right. And Mike is just an exceptional piano player and organ player out of the Chicago area.
Somebody wrote here, Bruce, any best things I learned from Barney?
And say that again?
He says, Bruce, the best thing I ever learned from Barney?
Well, okay, I learned a lot. First of all, when you play, don't just play. Think about what you're doing. Barney, he was like almost the Count Basie of guitar. When you listen to one of his solos, it's like it's improvised, but it's arranged at the same time. I mean, you can tell there's a lot of consideration to the shaping of the energy, to the motivic development of the solo, its relationship to the song itself, its place in the set. Mm-hmm. He's just very, he's improvising on a deep level, and that really he really that always impressed me, and that's something I've always embraced. I mean, there's almost like two schools of thought with jazz a lot of times, right? There's the Ahmad Jamal, Count Basie, Oscar Peterson style approach, and then there's kind of like the Bill Evans, Keith Jarrett approach, and they're both great. But to my feeling, like the Oscar Peterson, Count Basie, Ahmad Jamal, Barney Kessel side is more about climbing the stairs, arranging the piece, really thinking about the total of what you're doing and everything, interacting that way. I hear Bill and Keith more in a stream of consciousness sort of way, that it develops in a much more free and without that sort of outline of musical arranging to it. Does that make sense? I mean, and of course, people are free to disagree with me here. This is just an observation I make that I kind of relate to that way. And for me, I just love the way Barney, every tune, it's like he wraps it up and with a nice little bow and Christmas wrapping for you and gives it to you. You know what I mean? And a lot of love. The intro and the ending, and he puts it to bed, and it's just beautiful. And he really inspired me to think of music, whether I'm playing in a group or solo, that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's interesting.
One big thing he really gave me, and he would always bug me to play more chords, and which was really weird because sometimes I was playing more chords than him. Actually, the last time I saw him, he'd had his stroke, but he was getting better, and he was able to kind of walk with a cane for about maybe half a dozen steps or so, and he had a walker, but he couldn't talk very well. I mean, it really took like an act of Congress to get 2 or 3 words out, and he came to hear me at Jazz at Pearls, and I I went to see him, and hang out with him, and Phyllis was there, and he heard the set, and I like sat down with him, and he like you could tell he was trying to say something, and he finally got out of his mouth after all of that. He said, "More chords." And so, and I just started laughing, and I went back and played a tune where I played the entire song. I didn't play one melodic line. Everything was block chords or harmonized lines,
Wow.
And afterwards, he looked at me, and I couldn't tell whether he was pissed off or what. But he stood up, and it took a lot, and he gave me a standing ovation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Well, that's nice.
that was the last time I saw him. Another thing, we were doing a workshop, and we each played a solo. And for my piece, I played Round Midnight.
Mm-hmm.
And he looked at me, and afterwards, he liked it. It was nice, and he said, great. But he said, I got a question for you. And of course, now I'm in front of all these people, too. And he said, do you play the piano at all? And I said, yeah. And he said, Thelonious Monk wrote that in E-flat minor, right? And I said, yeah. And he says, you know about E-flat minor on the piano. It's all the black keys. It really fits your hand nice, doesn't it? And I said, yeah. And he said, you think if he was a guitar player, he would have written that in E-flat minor? And I said, no. And he said, what key would he have probably written it in? And I would have like E minor. And then he says, well, why don't you play some in E-flat minor and in E minor? He says, and don't use any of those ideas you just used. Just play like 16 bars of it. And like, here, let me switch. And I swear to God, the first thing I did was.
Oh wow, yeah.
Like I realized I had it right there, right?
Yeah.
And it was like, wow. That was like reminding me, Bruce, you're in a space, you're playing the guitar, don't just go along with stuff the way you think it always is. Always be thinking. So
Yeah.
those are the things, of course, just feeling how hard he swung and how much he believed in himself. The guy really, no one would ever accuse him of being meek or lacking in self-esteem. And also, he really liked to entertain people, and I always liked that too. I don't think he really taught me that, but in a way, he was one of the musicians, along with Dizzy Gillespie and Bobby Hutcherson and Freddie Hubbard and Richie Cole, who I played with a lot, that kind of let me know that it's not just playing notes and rhythms in the guitar. It's people are in the room, and we're creating a vibe for the world. And if you want to have fun and you want to have fun with them, that's okay too. You got to take the music seriously, but you don't have to take yourself seriously.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. That's cool. I didn't. So he was kind of a funny character.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man. And I don't know if you must have seen some video of him, or you've seen him live. Probably he dressed like a fucking clown. You know what I mean? If you ask me, either he's colorblind, or something. Because some of that shit he was wearing was just like, what the hell? You know what I mean? No airplane would ever run into him. I'll tell you that. You know what I mean?
That's funny. Oh boy. Let's see. Somebody else had a couple other things on here, Bruce. Did Bruce ever play with Joey D?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Well, that's so sad. He passed away so.
Yeah, I did. Actually, I just heard somebody like emailed me something about they were hanging. Oh, it was on the Jazz Cruise. Jeff Hamilton says they were all hanging on the Jazz Cruise, I guess they were talking about Joey D, and they were all talking about this one set that we played. It was just fucking, balls to the wall,
Uh-huh.
crazy. We almost sank the ship, I think. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I played with Joey D a number of times. I was never in his band officially, but and boy, Joey's played with so many great guitar players, huh? I mean,
Oh yeah,
along,
good God.
along with those records with like Pat and George Benson and everything. I mean, Paul Bolenbeck, I think, plays so beautifully with him all those years. I think, for
Yeah.
his band, I don't think anybody ever sounded better. Although Dan Wilson at the end was sure kicking ass, too. You know about Dan Wilson? Okay, you want to check him out. He's a young guy. He's kind of the closest thing to George
Oh yeah.
I've ever. Yeah, yeah. It's
Dan
beautiful.
Wilson.
Dan Wilson. He played with Joey's band for the last couple of years of Joey's life. And he's doing stuff with his own quartet now. And I'm actually doing a duo with him in SF Jazz in October coming up.
Oh, nice, nice, good. Let's see. What's your best jazz improviser?
What?
I don't know. Let's see. Well, I think maybe that's about it for the question. Anybody got any questions there for Bruce? Well, I'm really so happy that you're going to be doing that. We spend you spend all day with all the students and stuff because we all eat together in one big cafeteria, and it's good food, Bruce. So don't worry, it's pretty good food.
It's okay. I've been in prison. It's all right, man.
Yeah, well, oh, there it is. And excuse me. So you get to know the students quite well, and they can, bug you. No, well, they're always want to talk to you and stuff, and that's good.
Yeah. Well, we're there to celebrate playing and share playing and have a good time, right? I mean,
Absolutely, it's
so, I mean that sounds fun to me. I'm really looking forward to it. And of course, Yosemite is not. You could have picked Chernobyl or something.
Yeah.
But
McFarlane or something. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Where there's always
So,
plenty of parking. Yeah, so
yeah.
yeah, we could pick a place like that, but no, it's really nice and pretty up there. It'll be nice and lush with all the rain we had, and so how are we doing there, Wes? All right, good. All right, so I'm hearing bells and whistles.
Oh yeah. Well, that's probably one of me. It's probably me. I got an email or something. I don't know how to turn that damn thing on. I like to say, is that sound in my head bothering anybody?
Oh, I know what somebody had written on here about. I have Bruce's novel.
Yeah.
I didn't know you wrote a novel.
Yeah, I've written a number of them. Only one's been published, though. Yeah, I wrote a novel. I like to write stories. It's not really, to me, it's no different than playing music. We tell stories. So
Uh-huh.
I call it, it's a new genre. It's called autofictionography, which is like I take my life and make it interesting.
Oh, I like that. I
Yeah,
like a
so
little
it's about a
embellishment.
guitar player who's got some real weird mental issues, and some really funny shit happens to him. His own ego and gullibility and desire for fame gets him in real trouble. It's like a Faustian joke, really. He gets involved with the devil, but the devil is a booking agent.
Oh, well, that's not too
So
far from the
part's,
truth.
that part's nonfiction.
Excuse me.
Yeah, so I did write a novel, and I like to tell stories. And as you know, boy, we sure had a fun time at Cass, and I like to do comedy.
Oh yeah,
So yeah, so I'm sure we'll laugh a bunch.
we will. We will. Well, and then we always have a party afterwards, and this goes on, and It's quite an event. The week goes by so fast. You think, what happened? So be prepared.
Okay, well, that sounds like my life.
I'm just looking at some of these comments here. Anything else? Well, I don't know. So, Bruce, I don't think I told you this, but the way it works is, each one of the, we have three groups, of players. And you're with the group, each group once a day. So everybody will.
I just lost your sound.
Whoops. Can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you again. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
heard the three groups of players. That's what I heard.
yeah, three groups of players, and they're all divided up, and then the teachers rotate between the groups during the course of the day. So everybody will get to be with Bruce Forman for a brief period, and
I lost you again.
Oh, what's going on?
And I'm a shitty lip reader. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm sorry, I lost you. Oh, now it came back. I don't know what's happening. Zoom
Maybe
is
it's
not like us.
maybe it's when you show that video.
Yeah.
But anyway, it'll be a lot of fun. We'll have a good time, and everybody will get to hang. And we've got I think we have about 20 guitar players now, 21, something like that. I think last year we had quite a bit more, but I'm sure now that you're coming, the cancellations will be rolling in.
Yeah, I would hope so. I mean, I play jazz because I hate crowds.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Oh, here's somebody. How do you make a living in music? That's a good question.
Well, your wife, you have a rich wife, maybe. You're born, you have inheritance. There's a couple of real good ones right there.
Yeah. What do they say about how to make $1 million and playing jazz?
Yes. Yeah, right. Start with two.
Start with 2 million. Yeah.
No, but I mean, it can be done. I managed. What can I say?
Yeah.
But I know. I mean, everything fun is hard. I mean, everybody wants to do it.
Yeah. Sure.
So
yeah.
you got to be work really hard, be good, and be lucky. Nothing to it. Sort of like the lottery.
Yeah. Yeah. Just keep buying those tickets. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Things will work out.
That is my backup plan, actually.
That's actually a pretty solid one when you think about it, because really the odds are pretty good compared to getting a record deal, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, right. Right. When I got my last record deal, I asked the guy, "What's it going to cost me?"
Yeah. Although you end up paying for your stuff anyways, right?
Yeah. Right.
I always say, you know who paid for Sinatra's recordings? Sinatra.
Yeah.
So it's the way it goes.
Yeah.
Well, Bruce, thank you, man.
Oh, well, thank you. This is going to be fun. We'll continue the partying. And like I got to say, I just want to thank you so much for having my back at Chet Atkins because, I was like, until you were there, I was the only jazz guy amongst all those people. And if a fight had broken out, I was in trouble. But with you there, it was two against the rest. And I felt a lot better about it. I knew you had my back, and that made me feel really good.
Yeah, we're like, everybody's pointing at you. He doesn't have a thumb pick. God, right. You don't have a thumb pick. Where's your thumb pick? Jeez, right. Yeah. That was fun, man.
I love that thing. That was really, I love that thing.
The level of players there is just incredible, man.
Yeah.
And did you ever go to it when Chet was alive?
No, I never did. Wish I had. A couple of guys had been bugging me. Said, "Bruce, you got to go there." I go, like, "What do they want with me? I'm not a thumb picker, da 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 da. They're just gonna. They all know who you are, da 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 da." And I went, and of course Jim Nichols was there my first year, and Jim is like one of us. I mean, he's a great jazz guitar player. He's also a great Chet Atkins style player, but I kind of did a lot of workshops with him and stuff, and so that kind of got me in. And then
Hmm.
I just realized how much I loved it. And of course, when I'm there, I also work a bunch of other stuff in Nashville. There's a great jazz club called Rudy's, and I play there. And
Mm.
you know, uh, sometimes there's some recording going on I can get involved in. So, I make more out of it than just the Chet thing, but that's the real reason I go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was great. That was fun. And thanks for playing with me on that thing. You
Oh
kind
man,
of
it was great.
you
Oh yeah, that
saved
was
me.
great, man.
You saved me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, Bruce, thank you again, and we'll let you go now. We might as well wrap this up, and expect to hear some of your bebop cowboy stuff too.
Oh, cowbop. Yeah, man.
Cowbop, yeah.
Yeah,
I've heard of cow flop, but not
yeah. Well,
cowbop.
it's just a couple letters away.
Hmm.
We've been called everything. Cow pie. You know.
Well, that's funny because, oh, I wanted to tell these guys this, and I remember I told you, but I still want to make sure. The last time I talked to Ted Greene, it was so weird because, yeah, how you doing, Ted? Blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden he goes off onto Bruce Forman. He goes, man, Bruce Forman, he plays such great, lush lines. He's just going on and on about your playing.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
and I'm like, wow, yeah, I better check this guy out. Oh, yeah, Bruce, man, he plays.
That's cool. I mean, boy, we're talking about super royalty, right, of guitar there.
Yeah,
I mean, we love all the great guys, but I mean, there's another level to playing the instrument when you're talking about Lenny Bro and Ted Greene. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
I mean, they've got kind of the whole guitar. I mean, they're classical players and they're jazz players and they're rock players. I mean, they're just like, where did they fucking come from? You know what I mean?
that's the truth. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, okay, Bruce. Well, thank you again, and we'll talk soon. I'll send you some of the more of the details of the camp and.
I'm really excited to be there, Rich, and thanks for asking me. And everybody, get your space now because we're gonna have too much fun. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
we definitely will. A fun time is guaranteed for all.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, thanks again, Rich, and I'll see you soon.
All right, take care, buddy.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Well, that was nice. So we have Bruce coming to camp, and what a interesting guy. And he's played with so many people, man. Jeez. So it's really exciting that he's coming to camp, and I think we're just going to have a blast. So tell you what, why don't we wrap this up? You guys, I want to thank you for joining us, and.
Hold on. Let's talk about camp real quick.
Oh, okay. Let's do that.
Because there might be people who we don't do a good job of saying like what the camp is. Boom.
Okay.
Happens every June.
We call it camp. I don't know why we call it camp. It's not a camp. It's a workshop, and you're not in a tent. It's a resort, so to speak, and you're going to have a beautiful room. You're going to get great food, and it's all included in that. And you're going to spend all day. It starts on Sunday, about 3:00. We have you check into your room. We'll have a little get together, a meet and greet, little party, and then we'll have dinner. Then the teachers will play that evening. The next day, we'll get up, have breakfast together at 8:00. 9:00 starts class, and it goes all day. At night, you're going to be playing, and we're going to be coaching you on your playing with a group. Don't be afraid. I make everybody do it, and remember, it's all levels. So you're getting wonderful instruction. You don't have to be a great guitar player. You just need to want to play music. You know, some people are further down the road than you. Some people are just starting down the road, but we're all on the road. And that's the point. We're all on the road. We like playing improvised jazz guitar. And so we do that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. When Thursday rolls around, we're going to get together with our, you're going to be assigned and work in a group. And in that group, you're going to be preparing for the concert that evening. And we actually go out to a wine bar out in Oakhurst. And we're open to the public. Although we take up so much of the space there that not too much of the public comes, but a few people do. And then that's that. We play, and then the next morning we say goodbyes at breakfast, and there's the camp. It goes by super fast, but the knowledge that you gain, you know, half the battle is knowing what to work on, knowing what to practice. All that kind of stuff is very important, and how to play in a group. It's a lot of you can't teach that stuff without you being in a group, and we can see you play, and we can coach you on what you could do to improve your playing in that situation. So as long as you can play the chords to one of these songs, that you only have 3 songs to work on depending on your level. If you can play the melodies, you're good. You don't have to be a great improviser and all that stuff. So that's what happens in the camp. Everybody who comes to the camp, I've never had anybody leave and say, oh, that was terrible. I've had only people wanting to sign up for the next year. So
one thing to mention too is that there's bass players.
Yes, the bass players are coached by Todd. Every group will have its own bass player who's also learning. And then you got Gary Newmark on drums, one of the finest drummers around. So you get to see what it feels like to be in a band that's top notch playing jazz. So it's really invaluable, I think, and a lot of people agree with that. So if you get a chance, make a commitment and do it. It's not really that much for what you're getting. And, you know, if you don't do it now, when are you going to do it? I'm not so sure it's going to go on forever. So I would definitely make your reservations. So
yeah, there's still spaces available.
Right.
If you want more information, just email you or call you. You can get more information here at guitarcollege.net/Yosemite. And yeah, we want more people to come, right?
Yeah, we have a few more openings, right? So I think we were sold out of private rooms. But I think one just opened up, or a couple. So
and there's hotels close by, so I mean you can.
It's
There's places to stay.
Oakhurst is at the beginning of Yosemite. It's the place where everybody comes from all over the world to go to Yosemite. They stay in Oakhurst. Plenty of rooms there. Of course, in that time of year, that might get a little thin, but the pickings are good. That you'll probably find a nice place there if you don't have a place.
I mean, they just put those 3 big new hotels right at the top north end of town. I mean, it's less than a 10-minute drive to the camp.
Right.
You know, so there'll definitely be. Plus, that's all during the week, too. You're looking at Sunday through Friday. That's when the hotels, there are vacancies. Weekends could be tough, but
yeah.
So I would think you'd have no problem.
Now, a lot of people come there and they make a whole vacation out of it. They'll come early or stay late, and they'll go up to Yosemite. They'll see the big trees. They'll tour the valley floor. They'll go up to Tuolumne Meadows. It's stunning. It's Yosemite. It's like the Grand Canyon or something. It's crazy. It's beautiful.
There's a guy that just jumped on here named Krager. He says he grew up in Corsgold and went to Yosemite High in the 80s.
No kidding. Well, wait a minute.
He just randomly found this live stream.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So that's where we're from.
Do you know
we're from
him?
Corsgold. No.
What's his last name?
I don't know. What's your name, Krager? But yeah, we're where we're from. It's Corsgold for sure. I went to Yosemite High as well, but graduated in '99, so a little younger than
When
you.
did Corey graduated?
Craig Swagger. No, I don't know. Anyway, are you a guitar player? I'm guessing you are since you clicked on the live stream. But anyway, yeah, 1988 grad. Awesome, man. That's super cool. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, good. Just wanted to make sure people knew what the camp was and that there's more spots available, and there's even RV spots too. So
That's true.
You could bring your RV, and they have RV hookups right there at the place. So people do that, and that's people love that because you don't have to pay for the room portion of it, and so.
And all your meals are included in that. So, and like I said, they always, you get, they have big meals, and you start to get used to that. Man, that's good. Great lunch.
The meals are good for sure.
Yeah.
They're big. Creative Aquatic Designs of Nashville. He asked, or they asked, how much are your hour-long Zoom lessons? Do you even do hours, or has it half hour?
Yeah, no, it's hour. $80.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Paulo, come on, buddy. When and where is that camp? We just went over it. It's right by Yosemite in a place called Oakhurst, and here's the dates. Go to guitarcollege.net /Yosemite. I'll put that in the chat.
Yeah, cool. Somebody else said you need help with jazz soloing and comping. Check out our jazz guitar improv course. That'll help you a lot.
Yeah, I'll drop that link in there. Here you go. Here's the link for the camp. And then here's the link for this jazz course. Is perfect for you for sure. Paolo's Italian. He said he's a little messed up. Let's see.
That's funny. Theory for the Road Volume 1 and 2 are awesome. Oh, that's good. Maybe tell them venue.
Yeah. So the venue, yeah. Camp venue is Echo in Oakhurst.
Hey, is this Rick Elliott who bought my guitar? Or that was Bill Elliott. Bought my guitar many, many years ago. Might enjoy an interview with the players, who are the headliners this year. Question and answer live stream. Okay. All right. Well, hi, Eddie Davis. Thanks for joining us.
That is a good idea. That remember how last year you did that Q&A session
with who?
At the camp.
Oh, sure.
That would be a cool thing to live stream.
Oh, it would be, yeah.
Right? And then you can make it like a press conference almost, right? So like you guys are up there, and there's mics up there, and then there's me in the crowd going around to the people that have questions, and giving them the mic so the people on the live stream could hear the questions.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well,
it wouldn't be that hard to facilitate. And there was just some really good info in that because people were asking really good questions, and you get these long-winded answers. It just seemed like everyone really enjoyed it too.
Yeah.
Being able to just kind of ask whatever, and
yeah, they did enjoy that.
so. Anyway, yeah, I need a burrito, I think.
Okay, burrito time. So, thank you guys for joining me, and thank you again to Bruce and Wes and Gail and everybody making comments. That's really cool. Thank you again. Hey, we'll see you next time, next Thursday with a brand new show. And thank you again. Hi, Rich here again. I just wanted to say thanks for checking out my videos. If you like it, hit the thumbs up button. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and sign up for those notifications so you can see all the cool guitar videos we put out each week. If you want more lessons right now, I have hundreds of them at guitarcollegelibrary.com. Check out our low-price monthly streaming memberships. And if you want to learn jazz, check out my course, Jazz Guitar Improv. I take beginner jazz players and get them playing awesome solos on the fly. You'll see the link for the JGI course in the description below. Hey, thanks again for watching my channel. We'll see you again real soon with a new video.